One of the most common questions I receive from ladies is, how do I get out of the bunker? Just get me out of the bunker and I'm happy. That may be you, but after you watch this short little video, not only will you be getting the ball out of the bunker, but you're gonna be great out of the bunker. You're gonna be able to get this shot close most of the time, or more than not. So what I've got here is I've got two clubs laid down in the sand, and I'm gonna draw a line horizontally here, so that way it'll represent a large capital H. All we're gonna do is we're gonna set up here, and let's say this is the horizontal line where it's right in the middle of my stance. We're just gonna set up with our weight 50-50, and we're just going to lock our arms, and we're gonna do the same thing we did with pitching. We're just gonna create a big, wide smiley face. And as long as you keep that club in front of you, not back here, you can be great out of the bunkers. Because really our goal for a bunker shot is we want to take a shallow cut of sand. We don't want the club to dig. We don't want it to dig down. So this shot, which is called the sure out bunker shot, really is the simplest and most effective way to hit bunker shots. So all we're gonna do here first, before we even put in a ball, we're gonna draw this line. That line is in the middle of my stance, and we're just gonna lock our arms. I don't want any change of your arms. We're gonna swing back and through this way, and you can see where that club was pointing as I go back and through. The club is basically pointing at my target. All my weight has shifted to my left. The other thing I'm gonna do, and it may be difficult for the camera to pick up, I'm gonna look at this line. And I wanna make sure that my club is hitting that line or slightly in front of it every single time. The beautiful thing about this shot is there's really one reason for a bad chip shot, all right? Or one reason if you hit it fat. So again, if I'm here and I hit the ball and I hit behind it, don't say I hit too much sand, because that's what I did. But what I did, technique-wise, is I did not turn my chest through. If I turn my chest through every time, aggressively, I will make sure I hit that line every time. If I get here and I get lazy, or scared, I should say, is what a lot of people do, is they get scared to hit it and then they hit behind it, and then the ball is not gonna come out, or it's gonna bounce and you're gonna blade it out. So we gotta put away our fears that we had, because you're learning a new shot, and this shot is simple. All right, you just have to do the same thing we were doing before, which is lock your arms, make sure your body is connected. Notice my armpits here. I go back and through, and you're gonna get the ball out of the bunker every time. Now notice what I'm doing here. I wanna caution you. I am smoothing this surface out, because a lot of you will practice and you'll be hitting the ball out of a hole here shortly. So I've drawn a line, and that line is about 2 to 3 inches behind that ball. So maybe a club head width. All right, because we're taking a shallow cut of sand, we're allowed to hit 3 inches or so behind this ball. So I'm gonna set up, this line is in the middle of my stance. I'm locking my arms, and I'm just gonna go back and through this way, and you can see that that ball will come out each and every time. The distance control with this is no different than how we controlled pitching distance. It's the speed of our chest. But I wanna make sure that you guys are hitting some good solid shots here. Turn back and through. Notice, and the ball will come out every time. If I need to hit it harder, or I need to go farther, again, you can change clubs. I've got a 56 degree or a sand wedge here. You're welcome, if it's a long distance, to hit a 52 or a gap wedge, or even a pitching wedge for that matter. But again, your number one factor after every shot is to make sure when you're practicing, now understand in a tournament you're not allowed to touch the sand beforehand, but just make sure that that line is in the middle of my stance. I'm gonna swing back and through this way, and then I'm gonna look and make sure I hit the line. I've been successful at hitting the line each time, and again, that is because my chest is turning through. We have to put away our fears. We have to put away our past negatives that have accompanied us into the bunker shot at this time. What you're learning is a simple, sure out method. So if you get in here first and practice, draw the letter H. Don't even have a ball, okay? And just make sure your stance is wide and you turn back and through. Make sure you're hitting the line right there each and every time. If you can do that, you know you're turning through it. You know you're gonna be successful out of this bunker and get the ball out every time. After you continue to do that, you can start changing up your distances, experimenting with things, practice different lies. All of those things will become easier once you learn the sure out method. So make sure, get in here first, no ball, practice with the letter H, and that will really be your first step to becoming a great bunker player and impressing all your friends.